Yesterday we had put up a notification regarding the change of dates in Nata. So there's been a slight change about the first Nata exam, that is from the 22nd of April. It has been rescheduled, sorry, from the 22nd of April, it has been rescheduled to the 21st of April. Now, along with that, the registration for Nata 2023 was also open. So in this particular video, we would be dealing with what is the step-by-step process for registering for 2023, what are the documents that are required, the exam pattern, and the eligibility criteria. Eligibility criteria for both writing the Nata exam and also for BR. Hello everyone, this is Suraj, you're with THiNC Institute of Design, and in this video, we will be taking through the step-by-step process for Nata 2023 registration. To start off with, Nata is basically an exam that's mainly used for getting into BArch admission in India. Now, there is one criteria that Nata has mentioned, that is if you are a 12th standard student, you should have studied physics, chemistry, and maths. Or if you are somebody who is doing or done your diploma, then maths has to be a compulsory subject along with that. Now, these are the two eligibility criteria that Nata has mentioned. Now for BR, that is taking the course of BR and studying in India for 5 years. These are the two different eligibility criteria that they have mentioned. One is that in the 12th standard examination, you should at least have a 50% aggregate in physics, chemistry, and mathematics combined together. And you should have at least 50% aggregate in all the exams combined together. So this is for 12th standard students, and for students who've done their or doing their diploma, you need to have, as I said earlier, mathematics as a compulsory subject and 50% aggregate marks. Please note that these two criteria are entirely different. Nata criteria is for writing the Nata exam, and BR criteria is for getting into that degree course of Bachelor of Architecture, which has a duration of 5 years in India. So these two different criteria has to be kept in mind before starting to apply, before you start to apply for Nata. Now, if you go to Nata's website, which has already been shared by the host in the live chat box, you can find on the right-hand side the hyperlink for Nata 2023 registration. You click on that, you find a page like this, wherein you need to make a new registration if you haven't registered yet. Click on new registration, give the basic details. When you're giving your name, please note that it has to be the same spelling as it is like it's given in your ID proofs. Let's say, for example, your 10th standard mark list or Aadhaar card. Enter your date of birth, mobile number, email ID, and things like that. Put a password, select a security question, and give confirmation. Once you give confirmation, you will be able to get a mail like this in your registered email. Along with this, you will also get an SMS, which talks about your application number and also the password that you have set. With those two credentials, you can go back to the page and you can start logging in now. So in the same page that you visited earlier, you click, you give your application number, password, you log in. There are mainly 3 steps that you have to process, that you have to follow. First one is the filling of personal details. Second, upload the documents. Thirdly, do the payment. When we're talking about personal details, they've made it much simpler this time. Your parents' name, guardian, category, the exams that you're appearing for, which slot you prefer, and your nationality. Now, here there could be some questions or doubts that you have. Let's say, for example, if you want to appear for any of the exams, you might not be clear about which exam to register for. Should I, as you're already aware, there are 3 Nata exams that are going to be conducted, like previous years. So you might be wondering, should I write just the first one, or the second one, or the third one? You might be confused, or should I write first and third? So at least if you're clear that you want to write the first one, just select that for now. Click on the first test, 21st April, go ahead, do the payments, complete it, write the exam. After you write the exam, you will still get a chance to decide on whether you want to write the second Nata and or the third Nata. So it's not necessary that for all the Nata exams, you take a decision right now. You just can decide on first Nata. The later ones, you can decide it later on. The last date is not coming anyway in the vicinity. So you have good ample amount of time. Now, if you're somebody who belongs to the foreign countries, if you're a foreign national, please do the required details in there. And then you can give the preference centers. So if you have selected all 3 tests, because in our case, we had selected all 3 exams. So that's why test 1, test 2, test 3 would come up. And we give 3 preferences in each of the tests. Okay, if you're only giving test 1, you will only have to give 3 preferences. Okay, Sundar says hello. Hello, Sundar. If there are any questions to anyone who is watching, you can post it below the live chat box. Or if there are further questions that are coming up after you watch the recorded session, you can post it below this video. Now, once you're given the preferences, you have to give your qualifying examination details marks. Class 10th, class 12 details, or if you're doing diploma, those details. And if you're somebody who's completed your 12th standard, you can put in your physics, chemistry, maths mark. If you're somebody who is appearing for 12th standard, you can just give appearing and go ahead and submit it. Okay. Now, if you still have any doubts, even after watching this particular video regarding how to apply, or regarding if you're facing any problems, or if you have any doubts regarding BARC as a career and things like that, you can please shoot us a WhatsApp or a call at 8086111024. Coming back to the registration, the first step of filling the personal details is complete. The second step is uploading of documents. Nata does not have a counseling of their own, so they have very few documents. One is photograph, the other is signature, that's it. Photograph has a minimum maximum criteria, signature has a minimum maximum criteria. Follow that, upload it. Once you have uploaded that, you will get a brief of your application form with all the details that you have entered. Please check again all the things, which includes the category that you have mentioned here. Okay. Now, once that is done, you can agree to this particular form and you can submit the form further for the payment details. Now, for students belonging to different category and students belonging to, whether they are male or female and all, they have, or transgender, they have different amount of fees for each test. It depends upon how many tests you are choosing. And very interestingly, Nata has given discount for students who are choosing all 3 exams and all. But please note, when you're writing 3 exams, it's not the best of 2. It is the average of the highest 2 that's going to be taken. If you're writing 2 exams, it's the highest of the 2 that's going to be taken. So keep that in mind while you're deciding on how many exams you have to write. Once all of this is done, a page like this would be made visible. Payment option, however, they haven't made it live even now. So it might take some more time. Like yesterday, students who were born after 2003 could not register, but now that problem has been solved. So similarly, now you have payment option that is not yet open. So probably later on, or hopefully by tomorrow or day after tomorrow, they'll be opening that up. So if you're somebody who has already done till here, then wait till the payment option is open. Okay. Yes, we have a query. I have applied, but the payment is still not done. Yes. So the payment gateway, I think probably they're working on it. Okay. So let's wait for that. Do the rest of the things. For students who are outside India, these could be the international cities, international centers wherein the examination is going to be conducted. Keep visiting Nata's website regularly so that if there is any changes in the international cities, you will get to know this. Okay. Now, they've in detail mentioned about the syllabus and the topics that they would be asking. So we have our classes that we have scheduled in such a way that we will be covering the entire syllabus. One important thing that you might have already been aware is that there is no drawing for Nata this year also. Okay, so we'll be covering the entire topics in our batches that are coming from 29th of March, 3rd of April and all. So if you have any doubts regarding all of this, you can contact us at 808611 2160044, the numbers that are given. Now, for those who are not aware of Nata, it's basically an aptitude test, 125 questions, 200 marks, 3 hours exam. There won't be any negative marks. You'll have 1 mark, 2 mark and 3 mark questions. Most interesting thing about this is that there aren't any negative marks. Now, there are 3 exams. If you write only 1, the mark of that would be considered. If you're writing 2, the best of that, the highest in that would be considered. If you're writing 3, the average of the best 2 would be considered. So think over it and decide whether you want to write 1, 2 or 3 exams. Okay. So these are the major things that we had to talk about. Please note that there is no drawing for Nata. The dates for the exam has already been mentioned. The dates have slightly been changed for 21st of April, 28th of May. Then you have a small gap of 1.5 months. Then in July on the 9th, you will have another exam. Okay. And they've mentioned the syllabus here briefly. You can go through this and prepare accordingly. If you think that you're not sure about what are the kind of questions that are being asked, you can shoot us a message. We'll give you the previous year questions. Okay. You can also register later on for Nata 2, Nata 3 and all. Okay. Now, fee payment, there is an issue. Let's wait for a couple of more days. But you can complete till the fee payment, all the details, you can fill it up and keep it. Okay. So these are the major things that we had to talk about. We'll be coming up with further lives and further updates on these exams. Hope you find the content interesting. Do not forget to give us a support by hitting the subscribe button. Until we see you in the next session. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, host.